Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Rosemary. Rosemary is an old-fashioned English name coined from the combination of rose and Mary. Rosemary also shares her name with the herb, from the Latin ros meaning dew and marinus meaning sea, resulting from the fact that rosemary, native to the Mediterranean region, needed very little water to survive. Rather, rosemary only needed the dew of the sea or the humidity carried from the Mediterranean breezes. Not only is rosemary a fragrant plant with pretty blooming flowers that dresses up any garden, but it also adds flavor to food and medicinal advantages to people. Rosemary was believed to treat health issues from gout to limb numbness to memory loss. Even Shakespeare's Ophelia says, "There's rosemary, that's for remembrance." Hamlet, 4:5. Rosemary has also been associated with love since medieval times, when wedding brides often wore headpieces adorned with rosemary, as a love charm of sorts. If one tapped another with a sprig of rosemary that contained a blooming flower, it was said the couple would fall in love. Or else one could figure out who was meant to be their fateful lover by planting rosemary plants. The first to bloom would signify one's destined soulmate. The love connection may have something to do with the belief that Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, was said to have risen from the sea draped in rosemary. Religion has its own legend, too. The Blessed Mother was said to have draped her shawl over a rosemary bush, turning the blooming flowers to blue, henceforth giving the shrub its name, Rose of Mary. There were all sorts of medieval legends revolving around rosemary, from the attraction of love to the repulsion of witches. From the attraction of health to the repulsion of illness. Overall, rosemary is an aromatic, flavorful herb containing positive energy. As a female given name, rosemary came into style in the 19th century when naming daughters after trees, plants, and flowers became quite fashionable. Not to mention the added bonus of two distinctly different names put together, Rose plus Mary. There was a point in time when rosemary and rosemary were quite popular throughout the English-speaking world, but not so much anymore. Personality of the girl named Rosemary. Romance is the hallmark of the Six personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. Sixes are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. Sixes are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the girl named Rosemary. Rosemary is such a quaintly and sweetly old-fashioned name. She's so outdated now she's becoming cool. This name has resided on the American female naming charts, i.e., the top 1,000 list, for well over 100 years. Rosemary was most fashionable in America during the 1930s and 40s. The highest position she ever achieved on the charts was at spot number 74 in 1946. From the 1950s onward, rosemary was witness to a slow and steady decline from usage as American parents began to lose interest. Now she's no more than a random old lady named bestowed occasionally upon little girls. Yet how can you not like rosemary or rosemary? These old-fashioned charmers are now so geeky outmoded that they have managed to transcend coolness. And don't think there's not a dark side to this pretty lady. Rosemary's Baby was the top-selling 1960s horror novel by Ira Levin, 1967, made into a massively popular film the following year, directed by Roman Polanski and starring Mia Farrow. Regardless of this pop culture reference, Rosemary is a pleasant-sounding name suitable for any aged girl or woman. Nicknames include Ro, Romy, Rosie, Rose, Mary, so many options for your little girl. The rosemary plant signifies remembrance, which is a lasting legacy any parent would want to impart upon their children. And the name's meaning, i.e., dew of the sea, imbues a sense of serenity and peacefulness. Quick facts on Rosemary. Gender, girl. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, 533. Pronunciation, Rosmre. Simple meaning, dew of the sea. Characteristics of rosemary. Family-oriented, loving, community-minded, compassionate, affectionate, humanitarian, sensitive. Cultural references to the baby name, Rosemary. Literary characters of the baby name Rosemary. Rosemary Pilkington is the girlfriend of the hero of the 1961 Broadway musical, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, based upon a 1952 book by Shepard Mead. Rosemary is a pretty young secretary who sees promise in J. Pierpont Finch, the young window washer making his way to the top with the aid of a how-to book. She is nothing if not loyal, and overlooks the wily Ponty schemes with the benign blindness of love. That warm-hearted faithfulness pays off when, in the style of 50 years ago, Rosemary gets her man at the end. She probably also quit the secretarial pool, so we hope the marriage lasted. Rosemary Hoyt is a main character in F. Scott Fitzgerald's final completed novel, 1934's Tender is the Night. Rosemary is a young and beautiful Hollywood starlet on a holiday with her mother on the French Riviera. She immediately, with Mom's encouragement, falls in love with the novel's protagonist, Dick Diver. Eventually, Dick's resistance wears down and he returns the favor, married though he is. And his marriage comes with complications. He is a psychiatrist married to a former patient, the emotionally fragile Nicole. The young and rather naive Rosemary is drawn into the glamorous and sophisticated circle in which the diverse move, and is caught up in the misdeeds that seem to occur around them. Rosemary is said to be modeled upon the silent film actress, Lois Moran, with whom Fitzgerald conducted an affair. Ms. Moran retired quietly from the high life in 1934, perhaps Rosemary Hoyt did, too. Rosemary Woodhouse is the title character in the blockbuster Roman Polanski 1968 movie, Rosemary's Baby, based on the equally popular 1966 novel by Ira Levin. Rosemary is a young, happily married, happily expectant mother-to-be who suddenly finds herself in a nightmare. As she and her aspiring actor husband, Guy, settle into their gothic New York apartment, they become friends with a much older couple, the Castevettes. Mysterious things begin to happen, as one of Rosemary's dearest friends falls into a coma, a neighbor commits suicide, and Guy's career begins to take off. All the while, Rosemary's pregnancy is advancing with fearsome side effects and complications. As portrayed in the movie by Mia Farrow, Rosemary is a rightfully frightened person whose life, as well as that of her unborn child's, seems to hang in a terrifying and unthinkable balance. Popular songs on Rosemary. Lily, Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts, a song by the Bangles, Rosemary Taste the Sky, Why Didn't Rosemary, a song by Deep Purple, Stealing Rosemary, Rosemary, a song by the Kinks, Rosemary Rose, a song by Frank Loesser, a song by Sandy Denny, by The Devil Wears Prada, by Joan Baez, Sweet Rosemary, a song by Cemetery, a song by the Foo Fighters, Edison Lighthouse, Rosemary Had an Accident, Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes, Dear Rosemary. Famous people named Rosemary. Rosemary Wells, Childrena Euro's book author, Rosemary DeCamp, actress, Rosemary Casals, tennis player, Rosemary Harris, actress, Rosemary Kennedy, sister of JFK, Rosemary Clooney, singer/musician,